Hey, Providence family. I hope you're doing well. As you know, Raleigh and Wake County are experiencing rapid growth. More than 1 million people call Wake County home, and the county is growing more than twice as fast as the rest of the state. In fact, our county grows by an average of 62 people per day, and we've added roughly 225,000 people over the last decade. These are all individuals that were created in God's image and whom He desires a relationship with. And as our city has become more populous, it is also becoming less religious. It's estimated that Raleigh is currently 17% churched. So if the growth of the population and the rise of those religiously unaffiliated continues, it's estimated that Raleigh could be only 3% churched in a decade. Those numbers are similar to what we currently see in Northeast cities like Boston and New York. And so as a people saved by Christ and called by God to reach our city, how should we respond? Well, individual, personal disciple making has always been and will continue to be the calling on each of our lives, to bless people and to reach people with the gospel. But in addition to that, in May of last year, the pastors and elders presented to you a 2-part local multiplication strategy aimed at reaching people within our sprawling city. And so this strategy includes 2 parts. First of all, revitalizing or replanting existing churches. This includes taking the initiative to identify and support and help struggling local churches within our city to regain vision, health, and vitality to once again make disciples and impact their community for Christ. And then secondly, planting new churches. This would include identifying pastors and teams from within Providence to plant new autonomous churches in locations around our city. And so since that time, we haven't communicated a lot about these initiatives, but there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes. And so as we approach the year anniversary of launching this strategy, I wanted to give you an update and just ask for your continued prayer and your support. And so first of all, revitalizing and replanting existing churches. In the last year, we have consistently prayed that God would make known to us any struggling churches in our area that we could potentially help. And He certainly answered this prayer. In the spring of last year, we were made aware of Mount Hermon Baptist Church in North Raleigh. And after years of gospel ministry to its community, the church had struggled for many years without consistent leadership and ultimately decreased in size to 12 individuals. So after months of prayer and discussion, God led Andy Owens, our family discipleship pastor, his family, and a team of 11 families to join and to strengthen this church. And so we commissioned them on a Sunday morning and we sent them out. And today, by God's faithfulness, your support, and their leadership, I'm excited to say that they are healthy, they're growing, and they're actively reaching their community. Then, late last year, we were made aware of New Hope Baptist Church in Northeast Raleigh. For almost a century, God used New Hope to take the gospel to their community and throughout the world. At its peak in the early 1990s, New Hope built its current 1,100-seat worship center. But since the early 2000s, due to various factors, New Hope has steadily declined to a current weekly worship attendance of around 80 individuals. But under their current leadership and the help of the Baptist State Convention, Providence and New Hope have entered into an 18-month church fostering agreement in prayerful hope that God would revitalize His church at New Hope. So a team has begun to assess their current ministry, to develop a strategy that will guide our work into the year ahead. And so to celebrate our partnership with them and to seek the Lord's help, we've scheduled a joint prayer and worship night at New Hope Baptist on June 4th. And so more details will be forthcoming, but we would encourage you to join us that evening. There are currently 2 additional churches that we are prayerfully considering helping, and the need just seems to be growing. And just to provide you a glimpse into the scope of this need and the opportunity that exists, there are approximately 200 churches within the Raleigh Baptist Association. And at this time, 46 of those churches are without a pastor. And roughly 15 to 20 of them will cease to exist if there are no changes within the next 12 to 18 months. And so we see this as a great opportunity for renewal and multiplication within our city. And then secondly, planting a new church. A small team has been working diligently and praying and researching and developing a detailed ministry model that would guide our efforts towards a target launch in September of this year. We've spent countless hours considering multiple locations and venues and have started developing a ministry playbook that allows each of our ministries to detail how to reproduce themselves at a new location. We have had and continue to have numerous conversations with potential plant pastors. And so today we believe that the Lord is leading us to plant a new church in the Wakefield area of North Raleigh. And yet, in God's sovereignty and His perfect timing, He hasn't lifted up a plant pastor to lead that effort. And so we continue to pray, we continue to work, but don't expect the plant to launch this fall. And so both of these strategies, revitalizing existing churches and planting new churches, will need your continued support. And so we're asking, will you commit to pray with us for these endeavors? Will you continue to be generous so that we can support these and other initiatives? And then finally, would you start to prayerfully consider if God would call you out to be a part of these new works? We're praying that as many as 200 to 400 of us, as the Lord leads, would be willing to extend ourselves to the point of discomfort, to go out from Providence, to start these new works, to bless and to reach people in different parts of our city. And so in the coming months, you'll be hearing more and more details about these opportunities. But for now, I just want to thank you again for your part in our mission to glorify God by introducing all peoples to Jesus Christ and growing them up to love and worship Him.